Good morning, the students of class 7. Today I am back with your new subunit, warfare for wealth. So each of these dynasty at that time, they try to annex other kingdoms, such as the city of Kanauj in Ganga Valley. That Kanauj is a place, it's situated in a fertile river bank of river Ganges. And on this region, it is also very important for the political point of view because it is situated in the northern India and the center of the all major territories, and it is very fertile. So you have already know that in previous class, in class 6, that how people struggled for the to capture the area of Magadha. Now the Kanauj also situated in the same region in northern India, in Bihar, today's Bihar. So tripartite struggle is the most famous struggle for the conquest of Kanauj. The people want to capture the Kanauj, so that's why the most famous struggle is tripartite struggle. So in tripartite, why the name is tripartite? Tripartite means there were three parties. These three parties are rulers belonging to the Gurjara Pratihara dynasty. You have already know they are ruled in the western part and today's Rajasthan. The Palas mainly ruled in Bengal, Bihar and some part of Odisha. Next one, the Rashtrakutas also ruled, you have know, in today's Maharashtra and some part of Karnataka. So these three dynasties fought for control over the Kanauj for a long time, and this struggle for these three different dynasties for a long time is called tripartite struggle. Now, when this type of rulers and other rulers, they tried to demonstrate their power and resources, they built some buildings. They built large temples. They demonstrate their power and resources by building huge temples. And so when any ruler attacked other kingdom, chose to target the temples filled with lots of wealth. And at that time also, the people, they started storing all and offering a lot of jewelry, their money and precious stones, utensils to the god, in the name of God, and they stored in those temples established by the kings, because they believe these are the most secure place. The temples were the most secure place, and as well as at that time no banks were there generally, so that's why they stored all their wealth and they offered to the name of God. So when some other king chose to attack another kingdom, chose to target the temples filled with lots of wealth, and they used to plunder those wealth. Such as, so there is an example that the invasion of Mahmud of Ghazni. So who was Mahmud of Ghazni? That Mahmud of Ghazni was a ruler of a small state in Afghanistan named Ghazni, and he ruled the state from 997 AD up to 1030 AD. So he extended his kingdom up to Iran, Central Asia and northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. So he annexed up to the Punjab, and when he annexed Punjab, he also plundered some temples. So when he attacked India, he almost totally 17 times attacked India from 1000 AD up to 1027 AD. And in this 17 times, he plundered lot of times the Indian temples, as well as the famous Somnath temple situated in the western coast of Indian subcontinent. It is in Gujarat, in the coastal region of Arabian Sea. So in this way, they plundered all this wealth, and when he returned Ghazni, he took all the wealth collected from the Indian temples after plundering those temples, and he built a beautiful capital of his state, Ghazni, with the wealth. Not only he wanted to plunder India, he also wanted to know more about the people who lived in Indian subcontinent. That's why when he attacked India, he also brought some eminent scholars and some polymath. Polymath means the person who know lot of different subjects, have knowledge with different subjects. So this type, one of such a famous polymath is Al-Biruni. The full name is Abu Rayhan Al-Biruni. He was actually born a famous scholar and polymath. He was born in Central Asia, today's Uzbekistan, and he spent most of his time in Ghazni, yes, the state of Muhammad. So when Ghazni, the ruler of Ghazni, Mahmud, attacked Indian subcontinent, he also brought Al-Biruni to Indian subcontinent. Al-Biruni staying here for several years and learned lot of things, lot of different languages and ancient Indian subjects and traditions and cultures from the Indian Pandits. He also learned Sanskrit and he discussed with the Sanskrit scholars in Sanskrit and learned lot of things and wrote all these things in a book. He wrote several books, but most famous book that he wrote named Kitab al-Hind. It is the book written by Al-Biruni, and the name of the book is Kitab al-Hind or Tahqiq-e-Hind. Written by Al-Biruni. Okay. So in this way, so all the knowledges from the subcontinent, it is also transformed in the Central Asia, some part of Central Asia, and also in Iran, today's Iran. Except those foreign attackers, some other rulers also involved in this continuous warfare. Those are the Chahmanas or Chauhans. Chauhans actually ruled at that time in the western side of the subcontinent and in some part of Rajasthan or Rajputana. So Chahmanas, and they also tried to annex their territories over the west and also the south. But in both the cases, the Chahmanas were opposed by some ruling dynasties ruled in the western side of their dynasty and southern side. They are in Gujarat, the Chalukyas of Gujarat and Gahadavalas of Central India. So both the ruling dynasties opposed the Chahmanas or Chauhans to spread their kingdom. Okay, but the most famous Chahmana ruler is Prithviraj Chauhan or Prithviraj III. Prithviraj III was the most famous in the history of India because when the foreign invader, after the attack of Mahmud of Ghazni, there are other foreign rulers attacked in India after 100 to 150 years, and name of the ruler is the Muhammad Ghori. He also attacked India several times and he was the ruler of the Ghor dynasty. It is also in today's Iran, and name of the dynasty is Ghor, and the name of the ruler is Muhammad Ghori. So Muhammad Ghori attacked India in 1191 AD. Muhammad Ghori attacked India in 1191 first time, but at that time Prithviraj III Prithviraj III of Chahmana or Chauhan dynasty opposed Muhammad Ghori, and in the first battle of Tarain, it's the name of the place in North India, in the battle of Tarain, he defeated Muhammad Ghori and Muhammad Ghori flew away. But the very next year, Muhammad Ghori again come with more soldiers and some enemy of Prithviraj III, some other rulers who are the enemy of Prithviraj III, and together they attacked the kingdom of Chahmanas, and finally in the second battle of Tarain in 1192, the Prithviraj III lost the battle and died in battle. He was badly injured and later died. So, and in this way, the Muhammad Ghori annexed a vast area of northern India, and he also appointed his favorite slave Qutbuddin Aibak to the throne of India. We'll read in chapter number 3 how Qutbuddin Aibak spread his dynasty, and the dynasty of Qutbuddin Aibak ruled the northern India and spread his territory. So that's all from today's class. Hope you have understood this subunit. Warfare for wealth. How people they started war to annex new kingdoms and for wealth. Next class will come with another subunit. Till then, don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. See you in next class. Thank you.